Hello and welcome to another episode of the Morning Buzz on Voice of the People Television. I am Jerry Melaye.
And I am Adefunke Jayasimi. It's another beautiful Saturday morning from all of us at VOP Television.
All right, up on our radar this morning, PDP now a department under APC. ADC is the new hope for real change. That's coming from Dino Melaye.
And yes, toddler contract HIV after blood transfusion in Edo State. Father seeks justice. There's a very sad story there. But these are the major topics of discussion for this beautiful Saturday morning. However, we also have other interesting trending stories. But before we proceed, we urge you to kindly click on the subscription button and subscribe to our YouTube channel on Voice of the People TV. On other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. Also visit our website at www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news stories. As Voice of the People TV, your opinion matters to us. Therefore, we encourage you to call in and share your thoughts with us. Reach out to us via WhatsApp on 090-447-32605. 090-447-32605 is the number to call or text in on WhatsApp, because you have a voice here and your voices matters to us.
All right, and of course, taking it out from the top, where President Bola Tinubu has approved 712.3 billion naira for the full-scale overhaul of the Murtala Muhammad International Airport in Lagos. The project, described as the most extensive aviation infrastructure upgrade in Nigeria's recent history, falls under the Renewed Hope Infrastructure Development Fund. Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, said the old terminal will be completely stripped and rebuilt, including full mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems. Chinese firm CCECC, which builds Terminal 2, has been contracted for the project, which also includes apron expansion, access roads, and bridges. All right, this is a welcome development for those of us who sometimes go to the airports, and definitely a good news for those who use the airport. And what a way to at least upgrade the airport. A lot of complaints, and talking about flights having issues to take off and land, and this is a welcome development.
Yes, I quite agree with you. It's a welcome development, and I think that it's a good one at a time like this where the Renewed Hope agenda is focused on infrastructural development across states and sectors in Nigeria. But more importantly, I like us to look at the criticism also. There's been a lot of mixed reaction, even though for me, I think Lagos is doing so well, and people need to understand that this is a federal project, because the reaction around, oh, this coming to Lagos again, what exactly is this about? But we need to understand how this airport has been operating for a long period of time. Lagos Airport has not been the best. As a matter of fact, it's not, I don't even think that you can compare it with any international airport around Africa, let alone go into Europe or America or London. So this is a welcome development. People need to understand what this is. A lot of people have talked about how much investment is coming into this airport, but maybe if you get to patronize or use the airport, you understand how debilitated the infrastructure is. The whole thing, even the the road map, is nothing to write home about for an international airport. It is. So a report says that whatever is being generated from the airport, they spend about 60% on maintenance and renovation every month, every quarter, every year. So the only thing that comes to the government is just about 40% of every revenue that is being generated. I think that is a major problem.
That's a loophole.
It's a very terrible one. And reports also say that 6.5 million passengers pass through that airport. 6.5 million passengers pass through the airport. I don't know how.
It's a major airport.
I mean, you were still at the airport the day before yesterday. I'm sure you experienced a bit of traffic. Trying to get a ride, trying to drive in, trying to drive out. Have you ever been at the airport when it's raining? It's so terrible.
It's something else.
So I want people to look beyond the agenda of, oh, this is coming to Lagos again, or the president has exactly. We have the president has a sentiment or has a bias about. No, that's not reality. For people like us that patronize the airport, we understand that this airport needs to be totally brought down and rebuilt, and that's what the federal government is doing. And if the government is investing about 250 billion naira, that's like they are building more infrastructures, toilet rooms, better chairs, light in the garage, a world-class park, and all of that. We need to understand what it costs to run this business too.
Yeah, airport is not exactly small man business. We're talking about this is the image of the nation. Everybody that comes into Nigeria mostly use the Lagos airport.
Right.
So foreigners, dignitaries, everybody uses the airports, and they get amazed that it's still having the 90s
or 80s.
aura.
I say 90s.
80s aura.
It has the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, so it should be rebuilt. I think I'm also talking about the Interior Minister who tried to make some development in ease of movement and checking in and checking out of the airport. Yeah, in some section. And of course, it happened in MMA too. So they're trying to bring something like that to the international airport, which is really an eyesore where people are sitting. You need to see people who have flights for maybe 8 hours time, and somehow they sit around as if they're destitute, which is not really.
It's really annoying.
Yeah, it's really annoying. So they need.
You're literally tired before your
flight comes aboard. So I think a lot of revamp needs to be done, and I think the Minister of Aviation and of course the Minister of Interior would have put in position like, President, you have to do it. And him listening, showing that he knows the importance of having that airport at an international standard. So I think this is a welcome development. And I'm also happy that the contractors who have been given the contract have proven.
Exactly.
Yeah, they already did. They've done things like this before. And they've done excellently well. And we hope that they will also maintain that standard and give us an airport we Nigerians will be proud of.
And most importantly, I think that people also need to understand that whatever is being invested on that project will be made in about 5 years. Because there's a breakdown, which an economist did, which I read through, and I quite understand. If this money is invested, adequately put into that project, and the project is supposed to last for about 20 months, then in another 5 years, every bit of that money should be recovered back to the coffers of the federal government. And that's the way to go. And also, the concern of people around, when projects like this have been mentioned, what about people siphoning money and all? I don't think that there's any project that people will not make money from.
Even in America, anywhere in the world, people will surely make money out of the project. The contractors will make money.
Right.
Those who will be employed, who are Nigerians as well, because the Chinese company is not going to bring all Chinese people to do the labor and everything. So those people are going to make money. Even no matter how you see it, even the minister will have to have his own.
Everybody's going to make money from the project.
If I'm a minister, you don't tell me that.
If you work out well for the airport, if you make money.
I say, bro, thanks for coming. Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong. But we should look at the project being delivered.
Exactly. So for me, I'm not even one of those that is focused on what goes to who.
No.
For us, it's a 20-month project, and we want, at the end of 20 months, that project delivered and commissioned, and Nigerians can now say that this was built in 2025. That's the way to go for me.
Yeah, that's the way definitely to go. And of course, we look forward to seeing that airport in a very, very interesting standard. Yeah.
All right, moving away from that story, progress is never eating to eat in a nation like ours that is still developing. But let's talk about Honorable Abdulmomini Jibril Kofa, the House of Representative member from Kano State, who has said that only Senator Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso can decide whether to join the APC or not. Speaking to DW after visiting President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa, Jibril clarified that his visit was personal and unrelated to political negotiations. He emphasized the long-standing relationship between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Rabiu Kwakwanso of Kano State, describing both as influential political figures. Jibril also noted that he is not in a position to mediate between them, but he is willing to deliver messages between the two if necessary. I mean, there have been a lot of speculation around some bromance between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Rabiu Kwakwanso. But when Rabiu Kwakwanso came out to talk about the not benefiting enough from Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope infrastructural project, a lot of people begin to say, oh, what exactly is happening between these two? But for me, I don't think I've ever been shaking about the stance of these two people, because trust politicians at your own risk.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact, put your life on the line for any politician at your own risk.
Yeah.
It might all be for the optics. And for Jibrin meeting with the president, it might be that some conversations around that happen. But I don't think that people should pick on the agenda when they see people visit President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It doesn't have to be what you're thinking. A lot of political games, politicking is happening within this space. And with how much attention the president is paying to people, to feedback, I think that any intelligent or smart politician within the corridors of power, whether governor, senator, or House of Representative member, would take advantage of his open door to speak to him about the needs of their own people. I mean, there have been a lot of projects that have been approved that one would have thought wouldn't happen so fast. And this is beyond seeking a second term. The projects that have been reeled out so far are quite a lot. But for me, it's not about bargaining and reeling out these projects. It's about delivering them at the end of the day. So whatever conversation is happening between Jibrin, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Rabiu Kwakwanso, we are here for it. We are here for it. Dino Melaye was speaking in a sarcastically tough manner yesterday. I watched that interview, and it's funny to me
Dino
how
Melaye will always be Dino.
So that's why I said sarcastically,
because never change.
Because for me, likening Nigerian politics to Christ, to the church, and using terms as having people turn to God after committing sins, I mean, they are not at par. But trust politicians at your own risk.
He says he's still a student.
Yeah, he said he's still schooling.
He was not happy the fact that
and he's
been
on Sabbath.
As a former senator.
Of course, but I like the response. So I like the response Shehu gave, actually saying that, okay, you are not a sitting senator, but I also understand that senators, I mean, everybody answers that title forever. Yeah, it doesn't have to be whether sitting, but you are not making decisions for the nation at the moment. But also people have started reacting. People are saying that they should have even they should consider making Dino the spokesperson for ADC. But
that is what came to my mind immediately. ADC coalition was formed. I said Dino Melaye should be their spokesman because he's going to bring all the razzmatazz and all the attention that the ADC would need. But I think the spokesman they chose is still fair. Maybe they are going on the path of being a modest political party without so much rank. I think from their ideology of talking about doing things differently, I think they are going from the angle of being intellectual and maybe data-based opposition, because it's not about rascality in the very sense. Politics has gone beyond just doing things anyhow. As a matter of fact, the candidacy of the APC chairman also shocked a lot of people, where people said, oh, it's not popular. It was unable to win election. It was unable to even... Was it the one that came out and said that he's the chairman of the party?
No, the chairman, the new chairman of the party, the one from Plateau State.
Oh, for the APC?
Yeah, for the APC.
I think he was clearly selected. It's just that those people who do not know what is happening in the political scene,
so that's what I'm saying.
That this man is an influential man. He has worked with INEC before.
See, beyond that,
yes.
I want to liken his story to when Yemi Osinbajo came on board. Yeah, nobody knew who Yemi Osinbajo knew.
And those who don't really know
except
who
for
is.
Those of us that are his cousins from Ikene. And those that understood Lagos politics. Yeah. But beyond Lagos State or Ogun State, a lot of people did not know who Yemi Osinbajo was. So for some people, it was just about Muhammadu Buhari running for someone that Ahmed Bola Tinubu had nominated. But over the time, when he started attending interviews, granting interviews, attending meetings and speaking, a lot of people saw what the party had seen in him. So sometimes politics need to shift from what it used to be known as to what it will become. Going back to Rabiu Kwakwanso and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I strongly believe that those two have a thing.
See, let me tell you.
I strongly believe.
It's all a game. For him to look like he's not
interested.
He's not in tune with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So on the long run, there's a game plan. So he will look like he has fallen back to those voices who are not happy talking about the Northern Bloc. So by the time they rub shoulder with him, he will bring them under his fold. And when time comes,
I'm accepting
he
this
might
offer so
become-
that we can bring
Yes.
it back to the north.
Yeah, he can become the vice presidential candidate, and he will now bring those angry voices under his umbrella. Because let's not forget, recently APC members in Kano collapsed themselves and joined the NNPP.
Right.
So he's going to bring those angry voices on his back after condemning the style of the government. Then when they are under his umbrella, then there'll be another negotiation and say, okay, we've settled, let's just follow the president. And 2027, all about lose. So
I think
it's a very interesting calculation. Politicians fear them.
for
Fear them.
Rabiu Kwakwanso,
Yes.
I think beyond being vice president, he's a very intelligent politician that will
Yeah.
bargain for something that is lasting.
Yeah.
That's where that's what I see, and that's the position where I put Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso at the time. He is not one of the politicians that was able to win the attention or get the attention of the northern elite alone. He was able to win the heart of the common man in the north,
yes.
uplifting the life of an
That is why they
average
trust the NNPP in
citizen
Kano
and giving
State.
them hope.
Yeah.
I mean, for someone that never believed that they could be even in a government-owned school, getting access to scholarship abroad,
Yeah.
that speaks a lot. You wouldn't return to the country and say something different. I recall when they were back and forth on the position of Bukola Saraki sometime back online, and there's this lawyer, Mohammed, his name is Egbinupe. He doesn't support the PDP, but he came out to talk about how he was able to win scholarship because of Bukola Saraki. As a matter of fact, becoming a first-class student gave him an edge, and even going to law school might have been impossible if not for programs like persons like this. That is how people buy loyalty.
Yeah.
So it's not about parties. It's about the lives that you've impacted. So there are some people that no matter what you say about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they will die there.
You notice that in Kano State, Kano is one of the most peaceful states in the north. And you could see that there's development,
It's
education.
actually the industrial hub too.
Yeah. Education-wise, they found out that that is also another way to take a lot of youth out of crime and vices. And Kano State is enjoying that peace and tranquility because Kwankwaso has found a way to make sure that the youths are busy. And of course, you don't see a lot of Kano people running away and coming to Lagos and other parts. Those who you see running are running from troubled regions because their governors have failed to know that education is another roadmap to make sure that you clear away insecurity. And if we have someone like Kwankwaso as vice president, I think it will make an interesting read if he can spread his ideology to other parts of the north. At least the insecurity we're witnessing now will not be this much. We'll not have a lot of them in the forest.
Because education is
kidnapping.
key.
Yeah.
Imagine someone that studied in like UK, being in a multicultural environment, experiencing life
you'll be
differently.
exposed.
How do you want to come and tell the person that 37 virgins are waiting for him in heaven? He
definitely not.
believes
He will
that
not
he
take
has
it.
a mandate to succeed on earth first, impact the people, and not weaponize the poverty of the people. For me, 2027 is going to be interesting. As a matter of fact, the lead up 2025, 2026 is going to be one of the most. We thought 2022 was
I don't
interesting.
know they were going to wait till 2026, but somehow they found a way to start the movie now.
No, but I think
It's a
that the
series.
whole choice of who will be who for APC might be delayed to 2026.
Yeah, the who already know the president is already the overwhelming choice as the flag bearer of the party. Then it's now who's going to be the vice president because there have been questions asked about Shetima's situation. Now they know that Kwankwaso is in the picture. We also hear that Governor Zulum of Zamfara State is also in the picture. So it's now definitely Tinubu is going to let them play their cards out. I know he's a master planner. And watch how they play themselves out. And of course, fight for the position, then the best man would win at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, the best man will win. But I just feel like we should allow more, we should pay more attention to governance, allow this politician
to do their politicking.
thing. And of course, it's a long time to be spent. So they can't be exhausted. Sometimes you might even get to see the devil in the angel that you think is actually the angel when games like this start so early. So for me, I like the fact that all of this is happening. It's playing out now. There's a lot of time for Nigerians to actually decide who is who. So it's not like the game of 2013, 2014, where the coalition came, created APC, and for everybody was around the jamboree of change, change, change. Nigerians were literally choked with that. But there's a lot of time now for a lot of things to be exposed. We've seen the movement from the Labour Party to the SDP to the ADC right now.
And those who have been banished for 30 years.
Banned for 30 years. And you also see, even within the ADC, apart from the court cases, there's one of the national deputy chairman that has come to say that he's the one that's supposed to take over. So there's a lot of drama that will play out with Dino Melaye defending Atiku Abubakar, saying that he has not declared his intention. We've seen Atiku Abubakar banners across the north.
Dino Melaye will always speak for Atiku because he owes his life to the man. Because the man is his backbone. So I will never
That's
expect...
a strong word.
Yeah, I will never expect Dino to say anything against Atiku in any climb, in any arrangement. So he's going to be for Atiku. And if, for instance, Atiku is the presidential candidate of the ADC, just mark it down, he's going to be the second spokesman. Even if they have an official spokesman, he's also going to be one of the major spokesmen. If he's not the head of the campaign organization and so on and so forth. And we all know his history with the Tinubu family.
Exactly.
From Remy time when they were both senators. And of course, we all know how he went to Bodilon and said he was waiting.
But with all of that, Jerry, he was
still
an active player in the loss of Jonathan.
Yeah.
You know, politicians are funny. Yeah. And I don't even want to take anything to heart. You know, the other day when Dame Patience Jonathan came out to talk about going about campaigning with Remi Tinubu ahead of 2027 election because it's time for her family to pay back the good deed of the Tinubus. One will have thought Tinubu did not support Jonathan in her eyes. Yeah. But behind the scenes, what was happening? Trust politicians at your own risk.
And hand over. Yeah. So would have been, let's not forget, she had a financial EFCC case at some point in time. But
it was Buhari that took over.
Yeah.
Buhari that took over, and history has it that Bola Ahmed Tinubu was shut out of the government of Buhari.
Tinubu could be shut out in the eyes of the public, but Tinubu was still pressing his buttons.
And I know.
A big player.
What I'm trying to say is that it's beyond just that case. Yeah. It's beyond just that case. The other day, where was he Okalu, one of these Eastern governors, talking about how his child stayed in the governor's house in Lagos State when Tinubu was governor, and they were in different political parties. Exactly. So why can't the masses? Why can't the masses just see ourselves as siblings? I'm not saying that we should see ourselves like the politicians. Why can't we see ourselves as siblings? Why can't we have constructive arguments? Why can't we have constructive criticism?
What would not make us Nigerians?
No, that's why I attach constructive. Yeah. There is once we align in thoughts, then we are zombies. We are no longer humans. But we should have differences. Our thoughts, our bias, our sentiments will come to play. But why can't we let humanity supersede whatever our emotions are? At the end of the day, these guys play a game of interest. Why can't Nigerians also put ourselves first?
The thing is that
people have lost job because you support Obi, I support Tinubu. People have lost friendship. Yeah. People have broken marriages.
Those are people who do not see it from the perspective that we are seeing it right now. And it's unfortunate that people will always fall prey, because I think there's a movie I saw where the man said that if everybody is wise in this world, the rich man will not be so rich again. So the rich needs the fool to remain a fool so that they can be rich while others will be fools and worship them and serve them. So that is life. You know, everybody cannot have that same intellect to understand that this is all a game. At the end of the have you seen, I think, I want to go back to when Adeleke was contesting for the Osun State governorship election. And there was a time Tinubu definitely went to campaign for Oyetola then, right, as a big man in the APC. And Atiku went there to also campaign for Adeleke.
For Adeleke, yeah.
So after campaign time, in the evening, these guys met and started having fun. Even Atiku said he wanted to go and lodge People were not saying, you they wrong, you they fear. They were not speaking pidgin like as
Did
if they
you
are
see them at the airport before 2023 election?
They were
Where they
just
were in the
having
VIP
fun.
lounge and they were just gisting.
They're having fun. Don't forget all these banter and so on and so forth.
I think that's why we changed the national anthem. Nigeria, we hail thee.
Yeah, we hail you definitely. All right, and of course, well, to analyze the stories this morning on the Morning Post, we'll have in the studio with us Dr. Peter Nosike, Voice of the People analyst, and of course, eventually, we'll also be having Mr. Dele Fanimo, a citizen reporter, and also VOP TV in-house analyst. And of course, moving to the newspaper reviews this morning, and of course, but we'll take a quick breather. When we'll come back, we'll hit the newspaper headlines.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
Many thanks for staying with the Morning Buzz on your most exciting weekend breakfast show, VOP Television. And it's time to head straight to the cover pages of the national dailies this beautiful Saturday morning. So let's begin with the stories on the cover page of the Punch newspaper. So on the cover page of the Punch newspaper, we have at the top of the mast, Falcons 150 million naira gift sparks outrage among retired soldiers, cause battling poverty. The story is available on page 8. And still at the top of the mass, page 17 says, Tubaba's remarriage raises legal questions on divorce by Gami. I mean, going to Benin to marry. Let's look at the story that made it to the cover page. The top story on the front page of the Punch newspaper this Saturday morning says, Nigerians must go. How Ghana's business rules, landlords' actions trigger xenophobic fear. This other story says Igbo communities suspend Yam Festival, traders allege restriction. And finally, on the Nigerian Must Go story, President Mahama promises safety of Nigerians' property. All of the stories is available on page 4. Below the mass, we see the part of scary tales of Nigerian mothers shooting babies with alcoholic drinks. And another story on page 2 says, I stopped corrupt colleagues from killing traveler with cash-filled bags. Retired DSP says, but I mean, one will wonder what's supposed to be the job of the police. Also on page 23, we see 800,000 fresh undergraduates to face NDLEA drug test from September. And yes, another story on page 28 says, seeing kids return from school after my son died in Sockaway breaks me. This is coming from a transporter. I think this is the metro part of the Punch newspaper today. But finally, on the cover page of the Punch newspaper, we see striking nurses to consider FG's offer today. That story is on page 9 if it interests you to read. And those are the stories that made it to the cover page of the Punch newspaper this beautiful Saturday morning.
All right, of course, that now takes us to the Guardian newspaper. We're definitely on top of the paper. We have towards eliminating trade barriers, enhancing economic integration in West Africa. That's a newspaper feature. And follow up to that, the Super Falcons, super reward without super future. Quite an alliteration there. Okay, and away from that, we're from ANI Foundations, upgrade electricity, rays of light illuminate Mayo Sebe after decades of darkness. Because the top major on the newspaper Guardian, where rice revolution. Lean harvest diminishes robust policies. Wow. Okay. And of course, under that, we have federal government vows a sweeping reforms to end both mishaps as committee submits reports. The follow-up to that, you use social media to build, not break Nigeria, Tinubu tells the youth. And of course, there's still follow-up to that, we embark tasked quantity surveyors on implementable frameworks. And under that, the court dismisses suit challenging MTN Nigeria board appointment. That's it for the Guardian newspaper.
All right, interesting stories on the cover pages this beautiful Saturday morning. It's time to get into the analysis of the stories. But let's start with our studio guest. We have live in the studio with us Dr. Peter Anosike, BOP TV, in-house senior analyst. Good morning, Doctor. How are you doing today?
Good morning for having me.
I'm sure you heard the stories on the cover pages, so which would you like to react to?
I want to react to the rice revolution. And the reason I want to talk on that is because this federal government is paying lip service to the well-being of Nigerians. That was a budget of 380 billion for irrigation projects in the country, and the whole southeast was excluded from that. Understand? Southeast was excluded from that irrigation budget of 380 billion.
Wow.
So that shows you the hatred of the APC government, the hatred of Nigerian government of the Southeasterners.
Oh, that's the interpretation for
No,
that?
Sure.
But are there organizations looking into this and putting out statements as to why this happened this way and
the senator representing Ebonyi Central, Dr. Kenneth Eze, understand, raised that motion in the Senate, and the deputy speaker said that it was an oversight.
The deputy speaker?
The deputy Senate president.
The deputy Senate president said it was an oversight.
Oversight, and you excluded a whole geopolitical zone. To me, it was deliberate. And nothing will work in this country until they begin to carry every part of the country along.
That's quite sad. There's so much that needs to be talked about on this issue.
Even talking about the rise, I think even Dr. Anosike was even fair in the amounts he even mentioned, because the statistics says about 1.02 trillion naira has been invested in rice revolution. So if a region has been excluded according to him, which I'm still doing more research.
Exactly. That's why I said that a lot of
maybe they consider who are the rice farmers.
Exactly.
The Easterners show interest in rice farming.
I mean, everybody, every Nigerian knows about the Abakaliki rice farm.
Rice farm.
There to avoid miscommunication, I think that there's a lot that needs to be done when it comes to investigation, because that response of an oversight doesn't cut it for me. And for a region that has a body, Doctor, it's totally fine. Your points are valid and your sentiments are quite understandable. But for a region that has representation in the National Assembly, has bodies like the Onaneze Ndibu and all, I think that there should be questions that should get answers beyond just saying that it was an oversight. I think that doesn't cut it. That's a terrible response to give, that it's an oversight for a project of that magnitude. If there were criteria, let us know. If there were instances where people were reached out to and there were no responses, let us know. If there were things that were considered, because I wouldn't say that any region has it perfect in this country, whether in terms of productivity, security, or anything. So what exactly is the criteria or condition?
I think in all of this, how come Nigeria is the largest producer of rice in Africa, and if not the third largest in the world among rice producers, and we're buy rice even more expensive than countries who don't even have the large quantity of production of rice? So it beats my imagination. Why invest so much in this sector?
But have you also seen the reports on the damage Nigerian businesses, farmers do to other Nigerians in terms of
The middleman too is not helping matters. But what
exactly,
is doing
getting
to
support,
check
farming, harvesting, and when it comes to sales, you decide to hoard, wait for market hike just to make extra money. The other day, Bashir Ahmed came out to talk about how much investment was done for the agricultural sector during the 8th year of Muhammadu Buhari.
Yeah, the Anchor Borrowers Program.
Exactly, and he broke it down into analyze the details and how much of monies were diverted. So there is the responsibility of the government to give succor to the people, to help businesses thrive. But it is quite disheartening that there is no specific or known agency that holds these people accountable. Because you cannot, I mean, we cannot all continue to say we want to buy rice at 8 naira. We cannot all go to Aso Rock to go and collect money directly. It has to be, what are you doing? What do you have in your hands? How can we multiply this? So if we now choose to multiply for some people and these people choose to now do something differently, then it's wrong. I'd like to get from our viewers and from our guest from Benin City. I don't know if he's connected already, so we can get his thoughts on the stories on the cover page of. Okay, good morning, Mr. Ibrahim Muhammad. Good morning.
Well,
Can you hear
you
me?
have changed my name short.
Momo, sorry, not Muhammad. Sorry about that. Good morning, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'd like to get your reaction.
He's also saying
Please, let's get your reaction to some of the stories on the cover pages. Which of these would you like to react to?
Are you talking to me?
That's Mr. Dele Fanimo. Okay, let's take Momo first.
My first view is, to say that sometimes divisive language do not help the national ethos, national conversation. And we can do better than push divisive lingo. If there are mistakes that are made, I think they ought to be corrected. Then, practically, what I would like to speak to concerns the reward system in the country, where, for example, I think the security services or security personnel are saying that we're expressing their anger or unhappiness with the system that rewards Falcons for winning a cup with a whopping 150 million naira each, and then the heroic security services do not get, as much. Though I think it's not a Nigerian state issue, but the security services issue. I just checked last night the 2025 budget for Nigeria, and I realized that out of 54.99 trillion naira budget, a massive 6.11 trillion was allocated to security alone. That's almost 12% of total national budget, 6.11 trillion. So if that is not enough reward system, I doubt what else would be. So personally, I don't feel that the Falcons were over-rewarded. I may be wrong. What I think is that not everybody, we all should be more generously rewarded as a country.
Okay.
Those who are lecturing, those who are in the media, those in other teaching, critical sectors, security services, we should all be adequately rewarded. So I think we should use the Falcons own as a model for service-wide or industry-wide, or if I institution-wide, reward system. That's what I would recommend.
But Mr. Bobo, I don't know. Let me not be too direct now. Thank God I have a sports anchor here with me. Are you aware what the Super Falcons actually earned following that win? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm aware. I watched the reception live.
Do you know what they earned?
Okay, for the competition, it was $1 million, and then in Nigeria, various awards from the presidency and, of course, the Nigerian Governors Forum.
So that winning, Jerry, you need to help us out with works because people need to understand these things.
Yeah, I know what they want.
I think to say it in a perspective, I think for me, I think that money they give to them is still small. Because if you take a look at the Super Falcons, playing football in Nigeria has the retirement benefits. When you retire, you're out of the scene. Everybody forgets about you. It's now what you earn while playing football. And of course, take a look at women's football. They don't make a lot of money. Thanks to their allowances, they are mostly peanuts in comparison to what's obtainable in the men's. And
they are even owed for years until Bola Tinubu even paid off everything that they were owed.
Yeah, prior to their final, they were owed all the allowances, even from training, even from qualification, down to the championship proper. They were owed a lot of money. The president had to make sure there's an approval of funds so that they'll be paid prior to the final, because the competition, the last WAFCON, they were not paid, they were owed, and there was grudges before their game against Morocco in the semi-finals.
And it definitely affects.
It affected the mentality of the players, and they lost that game, and eventually they even somehow, I will not say on authority, they deliberately lost the third place match to send a strong message that if they will not be treated well, they will not be a part of the team succeeding. And that is why Mission X was really important to the president, and of course to those who knew what happened in the last competition and made sure that they corrected those errors prior to this one. And I think the president is deliberately making sure to let them know that in the next edition, I'm going to be here to support you. And I think the way they've been treated under the past administration anyway, everyone know that there's not much love from them as far as football is concerned. The age grade team suffered a lot. So I think this is just a way to appreciate them eventually, that we are on your side. We are going to support you this time around.
And they are bringing glory. They are bringing
victory. And they brought glory to the country. Mission X. Yeah, I think those who are crying definitely are those. See, Nigerians, when they are not benefiting, they are not happy.
No, but I understand the lecturer Momo.
Yeah,
I understand his position too. Because ex-retired soldiers,
$100,000.
It's quite
just envy.
Heartbreaking.
It's just envy.
But for analysts that don't have retirement age, let's go to Mr. Dele Fanimo in Ibadan to react to this story or any other story on the cover page of the National Dailies this morning. Good morning, Mr. Fanimo. Mr. Fanimo, please unmute your mic so we can hear you.
Good morning, Adefunke. Good morning to Dr. Anosike and Dr. Momo. I greet you well.
So let's have it. Which of the stories are you going to react to, or you want to stay on this story?
No, I want to stay on this story.
Okay.
I think, yes, because of the divisive tendencies and cleavages that bedeviled our country in the last 10, 12 years, it's more pronounced today. One would want to go the way of the majority of Nigerians who felt that those...
Please go ahead. Okay.
I am from this place or that place.
Okay,
hello?
Mr. Fanimo, if you can hear me, the
hello?
Network is terrible. We can barely hear you. We can barely hear you.
I can hear you.
But we can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, please go ahead.
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So it wasn't on the basis of I'm from Ondo State, I'm from River State, or whichever state. Collectively, and if there is one unifying factor in this country today, it is sports. When those young ladies were playing, nobody isolated anybody from one particular state or the other. It was Nigeria all the way.
Right.
And do you know that anytime a match of that magnitude is happening in this country, everybody forgets about APC, Labour Party, SDP, PDP, or whatever name, or whatever political party. We come together in unity, we celebrate in unison. And then the aftermath should not also bring about divisive tendencies, which was witnessed in the last couple of days, I would have expected that the governors who singled out their wards in that team to bring what stops this fantastic team from going from one state to the other, showcasing the cup to the governors, and let them appreciate the fact that they brought this cup to the glory of Nigeria. Don't forget, either we like it or not, this country belongs to all of us. We may not get it right now, but I know with you and I and every other person contributing to the development of this country, leaving out political, religious, and ethnic factors, we are a great nation, but we have not been able to realize our potentials because of these divisive tendencies. Don't forget, Hutus and Tutsis, today it is a crime to identify a Hutu or Tutsi in Rwanda, because that was the singular reason that resulted in mass genocide. And they are just trying to get out of it. We don't want this to happen. I've not seen a country, apart from Germany, that will go through wars twice that will survive. And I don't want Nigeria to be part of the statistics. So for me, we should play down any divisive tendency in sports, in politics, in our social life, everywhere. There is nobody, as we speak on this show, that does not have friends across the divides. And so we lie on the altar of politics or religion or ethnicity, disown my friend, long cherished friends, because I belong to this particular cleavage or the other. So let us just take this victory as Nigeria's victory and not state victory. In fact, I'm from Ondo State. I'm maternal side, I'm from Ekiti State. I will not encourage, if I'm asked to air my opinion, I will not encourage the two state governors to ever host one particular player among these players as special guest and giving such person money outside of what the president had given such player. So let us just try as much as possible to play down this for the sake of our country and for the sake of our future.
All right. I think so. Dr. Anuski has
I want to contribute
just 1 minute.
One, I appreciate them winning the cup, but the officials messed up. Who taught them that song on your mandate? Is it the national anthem?
It was a politician that was doing that.
So they brought politics into it. They brought politics into it, and that even destroyed the victory for me. That destroyed the victory for me. That song on your mandate will stand. Understand me? I was even happy that it turned that victory for. I say, if they should sing that song, let Nigeria not win any other cup.
So you're one of those Nigerians that will have Nigerians destroyed.
Let Nigeria not win any other tournament.
Doctor, are you one?
Is that our national anthem?
Doctor, are you one of those that will have Nigeria rather destroyed other than having
Is that our national?
So because of what was done, because of what was done, you would rather Nigeria.
Anyway,
let them not win anymore.
They will continue to win because their efforts will be counted.
Let them not win anymore.
Let's look at it.
It's on your mandate of national anthem. That's the question. It's the officials that misled them.
That is not our national anthem, and it's wrong. That is wrong, but please.
It's wrong, isn't it?
But please,
I pray, let them not win any other tournament.
They will not wish Nigeria do because of your personal anger. Nobody is going to bet with you. People are invested in their children. People are training every day to be successful. they will continue to win, and maybe your anger might just continue to be continue to be over time. But I mean, you can
they messed up. They messed up.
I think we should take.
They messed up.
We should take. We should
Wait,
take the
it's all. We have
situation
managed to stand our national anthem.
The overall.
Jerry, in Delta State.
Jerry, I regret that they won. Sincerely.
That's your personal regret.
Because of that song.
That's your personal
I regret
regret.
that they won.
We rejoice that they won. In Delta State,
I regret that they won.
there was an event
because of that song
where the MC was leading the students to sing "Now Our Mama Be This."
And
the students rejected it. They sang otherwise.
Yeah.
And it made headlines. And people were talking about it.
Yeah.
Those that celebrated them did. Those that condemned them did. Whatever your anger will not change the position of the nation or the success of the national interest. Saying that the executives or their technical team were the ones that led them. I mean, they are all adults. And that was not an under 17 group. So whatever your anger might be valid for you, but let's try not to wish the nation doom because
I regret that they won.
It's not.
I regret
it's
that
even obvious that you are
because
angry.
of that song. Is that our national anthem?
I think Dr.
Let's move away from that stuff.
Definitely
on their part.
We understand
that
politics into it.
All right, let's leave that though. Definitely, I'm mostly interested when it comes to issues that has to be sport. But I think misplaced priorities definitely do happen. Sentiments and excitement can make people get carried away. But that is not to take away.
There was a time we were constantly singing Ponya Chukwu no Gaza.
Yeah.
And it wasn't our national anthem.
Yes,
from stadium to even the place of reception, it was a constant song back to back. I've always followed football. Nobody asked, call God. Nobody asked because if it was a Yoruba song, somebody like you would have woken up to say that, why are they singing Jesumi Shehu Shehu? They are trying to marginalize the Igbos. Let's have it clear, yes. It's a national victory. Let people celebrate the way they choose to. Misplaced priority, I accept. That song is not. You cannot say what you were not in that meeting with them. No, you were not in that meeting with them. Somebody started the song. They had a right, like the nursing students in Delta State, to say that they were not going to sing in that direction. It is normal, but you cannot wish the nation doom. That is totally wrong.
Let's leave this conversation because we're very, very interested in more other conversation on the show today. Where PDP now a department under APC, and of course this is the ADC. ADC saying that it's the new hope for real change, and this is coming from Dino Melaye himself, who has said that he just left the PDP, and he has said that the PDP is a department under the APC. All right, details of this after the break. Stay with us. It's still the Morning Buzz on Voice of the People Television. Welcome back. You're still watching the Morning Buzz on Voice of the People Television. All right, going to the topics of the day proper, where Senator Dino Melaye has criticized the People's Democratic Party, PDP, alleging it has lost its independence and is now controlled by the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC. Describing the African Democratic Congress, ADC, as a national altar call, Melaye portrayed it as a new haven for Nigerians seeking genuine political transformation. He claimed the PDP now functions like a parastatal under the APC, even taking instructions for its meetings from the presidential villa. His remarks come amid rising concerns about the weakening of opposition voices ahead of the 2027 elections. We still have to analyze the stories we have in the studio. Dr. Peter Anosike, Voice of the People analyst. And virtually we have Mr. Dele Fanimo, a seasoned reporter, and also VOP TV's in-house analyst. And while in Benin City, all the way, we have Comrade Ibrahim Momo. He is a lecturer of political science at the Bruce Ali University, Ekpoma, Edo State. A public affairs analyst, a political analyst, commentator. I want to start with Dr. Anosike. Dino Melaye gave us a show yesterday, and since then there have been a lot of reactions and counter reactions. And he's saying that the PDP is now a department of the APC, and that ADC is now the new haven. All of a sudden, all sins have passed away, all things have become new. Yeah.
What he said is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Okay.
Even before he said it, I told you that PDP is dead.
Yeah,
That it's a
you've been
broken
saying
down
that.
vehicle that will not be repaired until 2027. Understand me?
We called it a carcass.
So it's dead. It's dead. Understand me? So what Dino said is true. The people who are there now, who are claiming to be members of PDP, are agents of APC. Understand? Those who are claiming to be PDP are agents of APC. The true Nigerians in PDP are no more there. The true Nigerians in PDP are no more there. As he said that they now receive instructions from the vendor, it's true. Because Nyesom Wike has a single mandate, which is to destroy PDP and make it easy for Bola Tinubu in 2027. Understand? So Nigerians now have a vehicle that will take them out of hunger, out of suffering, out of oppression. Understand? So it is those who want the continuation of the same that are still members of PDP, which is being headed by Nyesom Wike. So what Dino said is the whole truth.
All right. Let me go to Mr. Dele Fanimo. How would you react to the show of Dino Melaye? And of course, what he's just said, and just not less than a week, he said he was leaving the PDP, and it shows already that he's already with the ADC.
You see, I'm not surprised, and I'm not somebody that will take a clown like Dino Melaye seriously, because we have seen his theatrics many times in the past, and so this one would not be a new thing to me. Granted that, you see, I enjoy all this. I enjoy all this because it also gives us a semblance of real politicking. It also shows
Okay, seems like there's a technical glitch there from
the fear.
network glitch. Okay.
Hello, can you hear
Yes,
me?
can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah. It also gives me the hope that we are not likely to descend into a one state, one party state. So, but granted that, I want to just say that there are things that we have to take into cognizance in the course of our journey to 2027. Most of these people have not seen a true Democrat among the lot that can take us to the next level in our political journey. Because these are people that have been tested over the years. They've been in several political parties. They jump from one ship. And of course, I've always said it, for those who have seen or heard me, that there is no political party in Nigeria, but political platforms. So it is convenient for Dino Melaye to jump ship. Now, the PDP that gave him the platform to become a senator twice, that even contested governorship election under the same party, is now the one is deriding. I won't be surprised if he decides to move to another party before the next election. So these are people that we have tested. The only thing that will give me courage and the only thing that will give me that rectitude is when I begin to see new faces that have not disappointed Nigerians in the course of at least the Fourth Republic, which started in 1999 to date, by jumping ship when the water is even lukewarm, not even hot. That's when I'll begin to say that, yes, we are really massing up for real opposition and for real takeover of governance from whatever exists now. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not bothered about Dino Melaye crossing to anywhere. It's not an issue for me as far as I'm concerned.
Let me go to Ibrahim Momo. And Wike's aide has replied, Dino Melaye said that he's a former blind man and a tree climber. And of course, we all say, remember, he also supported the APC against Jonathan's government at the time. And now he's saying he's leaving PDP to APC. Ibrahim, how will you react to Dino Melaye's stance and all of the razzmatazz is building up towards the 2027 presidential election?
Okay, for me, I'm a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, if I'm to say. Dino Melaye is a well-known cross-capital. He moves across parties. Most Nigerian politicians are like that. Kwan Kwanso has been in PDP as governor, minister. He has been APC with Buhari, and today he's in NNPP. If I was back to PDP before I went to NNPP, even Buhari, with all Meso recipes, was ANPP, ANPP, CPC, and eventually APC. Ditto for the current president, it was AD, AC, ACN, APC eventually, and he became president. So if you call Peter Obi similarly, you will find out that he was governor in Abga, he was running mate to Atiku, a presidential candidate in another election, presidential aspirant in PDP, eventually became the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. You know. And now we are hearing that PDP is wooing Obi to come back with the promise of the presidential ticket. Fundamentally, I don't agree with Dino Melaye. The PDP is not dead. It is weak. It is weakened. It is in crisis, internal crisis. But the PDP is nowhere near anything there. In fact, as of today, with all metrics, no matter how you look at it, PDP is the main opposition party in Nigeria. It still controls, I think, 12 governors. It has the majority of opposition senators in the National Assembly. In fact, the Labour Party is almost empty. You know, ditto for the SDP and NNPP. They're almost empty in terms of senators and House of Rep members.
Right.
You know, so, and it is a party that is having a challenge internally because PDP is not one. It's not dead. There are people who are strong believers in PDP. Some of the current governors are still strong believers in PDP because that's their platform. There are people like Olabode George, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Olabode George is somebody who has always spoken in favor. The BOT members, quite a number of them. So I think the PDP is not dead by any chance. But yes, that's correct. So on this platform, I have advocated that if the PDP is to make any inroads, it has to go into a coalition. And I think that the best coalition partner to go into an alliance with now is ADC and the Labour Party. If those three parties can come together, then we are going to have a very solid, and it has happened before. If we remember when I think it was in 2011, you know, there was an attempt between CPC and ACN to go into an alliance, where ACN wanted to produce the running mate to Buhari. It didn't work out. Yeah. But if we also remember that before that election, 2007, when I think it was...
Ribadu was in 2011.
Olufalaye, I think.
Yeah.
They went into an alliance with the ANPP, ACA. They went to an alliance. And then that was 2007. In 2011, they tried it, but it didn't work. And then when Ribadu and I can't remember, but I know that alliances have happened in this country. So we can
Ribadu was the candidate. Then there was Muhammadu Buhari and Tunde Bakare. That was
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. When the alliance did not work,
Yeah.
when the PDP alliance did not work, Nuribadu and I think I can't remember his name now from the southwest who was running mates. They now ran separate campaigns, and of course they lost. But bottom line is that alliances have happened in this country before, even though they have not successfully produced the president. But I think there is a unique chance this time in 2027 for these parties to come together. The ADC, as it is today, cannot do it alone. It does not even control any state. So those individuals that they were, they don't have what it takes in terms of funding, in terms of structure.
I think,
Comrade, a
right
lot
now,
of
I think that would be
people
dangerous.
exactly.
To say,
a lot of people will argue that
they don't have the
structure
funding.
thing with you, and when it
Atiku
comes to funding.
alone
But
funding the
Labour
party.
Party,
I
Labour
think
Party was
that-
not controlling any state
Exactly.
in
I think that
2027.
it's the willingness of
I
the
think
people.
the point I'm making is to use the Labour Party as an example. What, in all sense of responsibility, the Labour Party achieved in 2023 general elections, beyond the fact that did they win president? How many governors did they produce?
They produced a governor. They produced
Yes,
a
how many
governor,
governors?
and they produced people in the National Assembly.
NNPP, no, if we use that matrix, NNPP had a governor too. NNPP
Okay.
had one governor, just like Labour Party. I'm saying that individually as parties now, they are not strong enough. But 2 years is still a long time.
Right.
And I think that the best way forward, this is what I recommend, based on my background as a political scientist, what I recommend is that there should be a kind of alliance, because I'm seeing that alliance already, this ADC already having an issue, because
Well, Ibrahim,
which is one of the key messages I think the ADC.
Yeah.
It's still like not sure of joining the ADC.
yeah, Ibrahim, you keep being saying that the PDP should join the alliance and so on and so forth. PDP has made the stance that they are not joining any alliance.
No, they also made it open that they would rather be where all the coalition
Will fall under. And of course,
and they will be willing to
and then
accommodate
those in the
different
ADC already
coalitions.
knows that PDP is a no-go area. So
They never say never.
Look at this point.
Yeah, because
Never say never. They might decide to use another
if-
vehicle if the ADC collapse.
If it was going to be possible, there would have been no need for Atiku to openly saying he was leaving the PDP, because him leaving the PDP is a major player. This is someone who was the presidential candidate in the last election for this same political party.
Jerry, the ADC is having so much issues right now. Trust me, they've not gotten to the permanent site.
Yeah, definitely they will stumble.
They are still on a journey.
They will stumble and fumble till they stand. Definitely, because more people are still going to join the political party whether you like it or not. And the governors in the PDP are already leaving. These governors you are talking about.
They are leaving, but they have not left to ADC.
Wait,
that's what
no,
I
they
think
will
I
not
will
leave to
let
the ADC because they will leave to the APC because they want to guarantee their re-election. Those who still have election in 2027. So you don't expect them to join the ADC.
So that's what he's still saying. He's talking about having governors, and I mean,
how many governors are going to be led by 2027 in the PDP? That's the question.
They still have up to 12 governors. But Comrade
Comrade
Momo, I would like you to learn because I want to take you on some of your remarks. Please go ahead.
So I'm saying that we can do the emotional argument, ADC is hinting. I think so too. It is growing. It is growing. It has the big men across the country. I think last week here I did mention some of the across the country. You like when you're from the northeast, you mentioned people like Atiku Abubakar from the north central, David Mark from the north west. El-Rufai from the southeast. You mentioned, if possible, Peter Obi from the south-south. You mentioned Arotimi Amechi, John Odike Oyegun. You also mentioned Professor Sareme Osimo, former governor of Edo State. Go to the southwest, Abdurrahman Fariboshola. Yes, they have these people, but I'm not sure they have. These are individuals, so the power they have, even Atiku Abubakar. It's not the one doing it alone. One of the things that worked for Atiku was that the PDP came together for him. The only outlier in that last election was Nyesom Ezewonwike, and of course the band of G5 this thing. But he was still able to pull enough votes to come 6.9 level to become second. PDP, with all due respect, it's not a pushover even today. Even today, it's not a pushover. And if they are serious about being successful in next election, what they are trying to do is one thing. Trying to bring into the party to take tickets is one thing. If they do that, all these arguments of ADC, PDP will almost fizzle out, because the Southeast traditionally has always been pro-PDP, traditionally.
But they've also complained that the PDP has failed the Southeast. The position of Nyesom Wike has had to override what used to be a love relationship between the Southeast and the PDP. But you talked about having win it'll be over and that being a success. And you also talked about the structure, the potential of the ADC in terms of structure. Do you really think that the coalition, having sat down with an agenda to unseat Bola Ahmed Tinubu, did not have all this planned out? They might not totally figure it out, but do you think that such big wigs in the political scene would go into a coalition without any clear cut as to how to unseat, or maybe even if it's to come first runner up, but I mean put a good show in the 2027 election?
Today, as of today, on paper, the ADC will put up a very good show, to use your words, in the next election. But where we are today, it's not hooray, it's not a given by any chance. Because the truth is that a lot of logistics go into elections, and I'm sure our friend who believes that the PDP is dead will agree. For example, there are over 76,000 polling units, 76,000 polling units across the country. 76,000. The membership of the ADC today is not up to 70,000. So over, I mean, some of this, when I say 7,000, up 7,000, it is not, some of these people are even in some location, they are in co-location. For example, Arekeshola now, his structure will be around the Agric, you know. So I'm saying that there's work to do, but I'm not brushing aside the ADC. I'm saying that except they're able to woo more people from the PDP, those who have left the PDP now, majority governors have left for the APC, not for the ADC. Two governors, for example, of Delta, Sheriff Uboriwori and Umo Eno of Akwa Ibom, they did not go to the ADC, they went to the APC. So they, in a way, strengthens APC in those states, in Delta and in Akwa Ibom. Of course, you have the Senate president already there, you know, among others from Akwa Ibom. So if we are seeing governors leaving the PDP for the ADC, then I'll begin to have a different view that they have something is definitely going to be wrong with them if this trend continues. But if they find a way to take their governors, because what is holding the PDP now is the PDP governors, not even the Damagu or Anyang, national chairman and national secretary. It is even the PDP governors that are the strength of the PDP today. So if they can retain those governors, that's where I think they will still be relevant.
Ibrahim, I don't know whether Dr. Noski will share in your own.
He won't.
Because Dino Melaye rightly said
politics is a social science.
Yeah, Dino Melaye said
are not pure science.
Dino Melaye also said
there's no QED in social science.
Yeah, Dino Melaye said that it's APC versus the hungry Nigerians.
We're saying that ADC has don't have up to 70,000 members. Doesn't hold water. Understand me? It doesn't hold water at all. Understand? ADC is a mass movement. ADC is a mass movement. And PDP, no heaven will make me to go to PDP. Understand? So, because everybody know what Tinubu told Nyesom Wike to do with the PDP. Understand me? So the party that will rescue the sinking ship is ADC, and it will do it.
Exactly. I think
That
that
means,
rescuing Nigeria is beyond the number of registered members. It's the interest of the people.
and
If the people see alternative in ADC.
for me, when I see people talking about supporting APC, what it comes into my mind, understand? I begin that to wonder if they are reasoning well at all.
Then you get angry.
What comes into my mind that these people must be mad upstairs.
Please,
Understand me?
your choice of words are solely yours.
Sincerely, understand? So, unless if you have suffering in your DNA, that's the only reason.
All right, doctor. Thank you very much for your submission. Like I said earlier, the position of people when it comes to election doesn't really have too much to do with the number of registered members in a party, really. It's about the drive. It's about what the people want. It's about the masses speaking in one voice. We saw a good turnout and how things play out in the 2023 general elections, and people stood by their candidate regardless of the platform, and we saw what the result was like. So if the people feel like ADC is the place to be, trust me, the APC needs to buckle up, because it's not a guaranteed ticket in my opinion. But yes, let's move away from that story and talk about this young lad in Edo State who contracted HIV after blood transfusion in an Edo State hospital, and the father is seeking justice. We will discuss this after the break. Please stay with us.
Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Or start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered.
VOP This Morning, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday.
Many thanks for staying with the Morning Buzz on VOP television this beautiful, cool Saturday morning. And yes, in a very sad turn of events, a heartbroken father, Praise Mombo, has accused Safe Bliss Medical Center in Benin City, Edo State, of infecting his 1-year, 9-month-old son, Jeremiah, with HIV through a contaminated blood transfusion. According to Mombo, both himself and his wife, Elisa, tested negative for HIV. The child's status only came to light after the transfusion. Confirmatory tests at the military hospital Benin reaffirmed the child's HIV positive status. Mombo has revealed that he had offered to donate blood but was turned down by the clinic, which instead provided blood from an undisclosed source. He is now demanding accountability from the clinic, lamenting, "So my son will have HIV forever." Very terrible story there, very helpless situation for parents. I think that it's enough for parents to want to step into their children's life and make lives easy for them, but putting a child in a situation where he has to live with something, probably live with drugs all his life, or maybe wait for a miracle. And no matter how much word has been said to these parents about people living with HIV, the thoughts is going to live with them forever. And the fact that it was not out of place for the parents to donate, the hospital insisted on the option of having, like a blood bank, and assuring them that we can do this. And for the blood banks, I know that a lot of tests have been done. I've tried to donate blood before, and I know that they get to take your blood sample. They do a lot of screening on your blood to check if you have any ailment, and they even check the level of the sugar and all in your blood.
BP.
Exactly. So
for those certified, you can even donate.
You understand? So how did this happen? It's really heartbreaking, and the fact that they even need to reconfirm the denial from the hospital after the parents came to say that myself and my wife, none of us have HIV. So what is happening, before taking it further to the military hospital and even having to run 2 different tests to.
I think for me, I'm really the parents. This is a warning to parents. You need to be very careful when it comes to anything that has to do with blood transfusion. I remember when I was to have my son, I deliberately wanted to use a general hospital in my locality because I definitely, in Lagos State, my locality, I believe we have at least to a level, I've done my research and found out that the general hospital has a standard which they have set. And it was mandatory that you donate blood as a father. Weeks before your wife puts to bed.
Right.
And in that aspect, definitely as a father, you donate the blood to make sure that in case there's a need for blood, that blood could be utilized to take care of any, in case of any eventuality. So, but now for the parents, I think even the private hospitals, I think I would want to beam the searchlight on that particular hospital.
Yeah, Blaze something
Yes,
in hospital.
in Benin City.
Well,
For they to have insisted on using their, I know a lot of private hospital situations where they will insist on using their own blood because of the money they want to make. Because why insisting when the father's blood should be exactly the type of the child, and it's very interesting situation, or the mother hasn't the same blood type. Why insisting on using their own blood? The hospital needs to be held accountable fully.
Right.
And it's pretty sad. He's my namesake Jeremiah, and that he's in this situation. Imagine the trauma for a 1 year, 9 month old child.
It's not even the trauma for the child because he doesn't really understand what's happening. It's the trauma the parents have
the long run.
to live with. But
let's he's going to be living with what he never envisaged or planned bargain for.
A simple mistake because some people were greedy to want to make money. But let's come to our analyst. Let's hear your thoughts, Doctor. This is
back in the days, I used to be ashamed of Abia State. When PDP was ruling Abia State, I from Abia State, I used to be ashamed of, because from week to week, you not hear any good news from Abia State. But now, Abia is on the rise. Edo has taken over from Abia State. Understand? No good news ever comes from Edo, from their governor.
That's not true. You can make your point without you can make your point without undermining the works of the governor in Edo State. What do you have to say about this incident?
I said we are no more getting any good news from Edo State.
This is an incident from a private hospital in Benin City.
Edo State.
Yes.
So how does
we are no more getting any news from Edo State. We are no more getting any good news from Edo State. Like my own state many years ago, so, when PDP was in Abia. So the issue is a very sad situation. It's a very sad situation, and the parents, government should be involved, and the parents should make sure that that hospital is shut down. It don't have any criteria to be in existence. But for the boy or medically, there's a way out.
Right.
Science has gone far deeper in this, you understand me? It's still a baby that's under 2 years. Within the next 1 year, that's if they take him abroad, they will get that thing out. HIV is no more as dreadful as it used to be about 10, 15 years ago. Science has come. But they will make sure that the hospital is punished. Because, understand me, they should be punished severely to serve as a deterrent to other hospitals that may be indulging in that. Because this might not be the only one.
Okay.
Understand? And for me, it will even be wrong for me to say I want to donate for my son, and the hospital say no, that they want to put something that I don't know from, whether it's from an armed robber or a kidnapper, in my own son.
It's really dangerous.
Totally.
It's very, very soon. They should be used as scapegoats.
Okay, thank you very much.
And to say the hospital's name is Safe Bliss Medical Center. How safe is Safe
all right.
Bliss?
I'd like to come to Edo State. Let's get Comrade Ibrahim Momo's reaction on this story. I mean, you are.
Okay, well, I think it's a sad incident. It confirms for me fears I usually have about private health facilities, which this one is. I may be wrong, but I know there are good ones, very good ones, but I actually do have a phobia for private medical facilities for myself and for my family. But this one confirms that maybe I was not wrong in thinking like that. So it's a bit sad. But when I first saw the story and I read through, what I saw, shocked me that when the father offered to donate blood, because of the need to sell, the one they have in their blood bank, because that one that was infused into the child, of course, will be paid for. Very heavily too. But when they collect our blood, I have donated blood separately. They will do all manner of screening to see if you have, even as far as even if you have a tattoo. If you have a tattoo, they won't take. They will test for HIV, other hepatitis. They test for all the tests, do all the tests to be sure that it's a good blood that you're donating, and before they even do before they collect, because I have donated blood more than once. So for it now to be that you are now, after going through these ones are mostly National Blood Transfusion Agency, and then sometimes even the UBTH, University of British Teaching Hospital. These are the people who are donated blood to. So, what I found that these private hospitals now apparently it's a business for them, and so they are not careful to do all those screenings that ought to be done before a blood is donated. Maybe it was even the blood was even sold. It wasn't sold to them. They were doing a trading with it. You buy from somebody to sell to another. As a way of making money. When there's so much money consciousness, and some of these things happen, particularly in private facilities, education, health, and the rest. The goal will be profit maximization. So that's my reaction to it. And I take exception to, with all due respect, to the views held by your guest in the studio. That nothing good can come out of a door. That's not something a Nigerian should be doing.
That's not what I said.
Please go ahead, Comrade Momo.
No, I think that when there is a challenge, and of course I thank the anchors for putting things in perspective. When there's a challenge, we should address the challenge. This thing could have happened anywhere. It is not a state thing. It's not a Nigeria thing. It's an individual facility thing. And so we call out, we apportion, reprimand or blame where it is. It is that this private health facility did not even do the screening. If you are done screening for HIV, that blood will not go to the blood bank. So these are the issues directly, and not because it happened in Edo State. So everything they do is now bad. That's my opinion. I'm from Edo. I live and work in Edo.
All right. Thank you very much, comrade. And apologies for however that made you feel. That is definitely an issue with the facility and nothing to do with the people of Edo State. But let's go to Mr. Dele Fanimo and get his reaction on this topic. Mr. Fanimo.
Yeah, it's really pathetic that we are witnessing this kind of incidents at this time and age, where technology has grown to the level that you could test samples and get results in no time. It's also pathetic that it is happening to an innocent child that had no say in what goes into his system and what is administered onto his body system. You see, the point is, our healthcare providers, sometimes they are very careless. Just like Comrade Momo said, when you have greed in your system, wisdom takes flight. The overarching reason why that blood was transfused was for the private hospital to generate funds. Sure. And most private hospitals don't employ professionals, apart from the owner of the hospital who is compelled to be a medical doctor. Go to some of these private hospitals, you find quacks that they call auxiliary nurses, because they are not ready to pay the actual salary of a professional. So they bring in rookies that don't even have up to school certs, train them using oranges to divide by 4, their right angle as injection site. They don't even know the amount of gram that should be administered on a particular patient. It's as basic as that, and it's as bad as that. So sometimes when people opt for private hospital, for government hospital, I sympathize with them because of their ignorance. I happen to be a wife of a very senior nurse
A wife or
teaching
husband?
hospital.
Don't be a wife. Oh.
You are better. Don't be a wife. Don't let Dr. Anosike's anger
It's a sleep anyway.
affect you this morning.
Somebody who is a very senior medical person.
Okay.
But the point is, I don't even allow her to treat me or my children or herself at home. We have to go to the hospital where we have the right doctor. Most private hospitals, they have just one doctor that cures all. But when you go to government hospital, you are directed to the actual specialist in that area that will attend to you as professional. And usually when the case gets bad, the private hospital will now say, referral. They will now refer you to the right place. And at that point, it might be too late to salvage the situation. So it is critical that we know the right places we go to. Now, you can't blame this man.
Mr. Fanimo, I'd like to take you on that response. Knowing the right place to go to, I understand the position of General Hospital having a lot of options in terms of caregivers, from doctors to nurses and of course specialists. But there's also the position of people not having due attention because of the population and sometimes the attitude of these people. Would you say otherwise?
Let me tell you, I know where you are driving this point. The point is,
so you would rather not let me land. Please go ahead.
Country. We are too impatient in this country. We want to do things and the will lead you to this kind of results. We want to show big manism. I want to go to the hospital and bypass the queue, jump the queue, and see the doctor immediately go out, because that is the essence of my being a big man. And big man, big trouble. Who is going to answer for this problem now? Even if they shut down that hospital, would that bring life to that boy?
But in this case, I would like you to look at it from another perspective. I understand your point, but let's not lose out on the emotions of the people involved here. It's not about big manism. It's about people accessing healthcare the closest way they can. And of course, it's not about the money. So this hospital does not seem like the best 10 in Nigeria, so I don't think about.
Maybe it could be a very big hospital. Yeah,
I said top 10 in Nigeria, so it's not about big man, because to capture what he's saying, that we like to do the big man thing. It's not one of the best 10, because if it is, we would have heard about the name. But you were trying to establish the position of parents. Talk about how
parents need to be very careful. I still emphasize on that, because whether you like it or not, it's the decision of the parents that will bypass whatever the doctor wants to say, because in the long run, it is parents that will give permission for blood transfusion to their children.
The doctor said, there's no way I would want to donate my own blood, and he will come and tell me that you have somebody's blood.
I cannot go to an hospital and a doctor will just come from nowhere, or a nurse, and tell me they want to transfuse blood to my child. And I will not scrutinize the process and want to know where the blood is coming from. These are very, very delicate situations. Even as much as syringe going into the child, we need to know whether it's a new one or they are reusing an old one.
Okay, so the refusal of the hospital to use the father's blood and insisting on using
and the father even agreeing to that.
Doctor, is it a red flag for you? Do you think that at that point they should have taken a tough decision?
It is because the entrance is basically money.
Yes.
Because they know that if they take from the father,
they will not have to pay
no money will exchange hand. So that's where that caution should have entered. Understand? I want you to use, it's my son, I want my own to go into him. But what Fanimo talked about General Hospital, when my son was 2 years old, he had this Adonai. It's a growth in the nose. that stop children from breathing very well. So I went to a general hospital. They were given 6 months extensions. Understand? They were given that it's not
An emergency.
an emergency, that there are people with cancer want to cut their neck, so their breast, their neck. So when they noticed that my wife had become frustrated, understand, and a doctor there, I don't want to mention the hospital, the doctor said, if you want this to be done urgently, come to my private hospital. Do you know, he told my wife that on Monday, on Wednesday, that operation was done in his own private hospital, which means they deliberately frustrate people that come to the government hospital so that they can go to their own. So what they are supposed to have done with 70,000, then we did it with 300,000 in their own. That's 2011.
That's about 230,000 naira difference.
Understand? Then imagine the value of that money then.
Well, is it about deliberately or the fact that they have a backlog of people to attend to? Because before you even get to the hospital, there are backlogs.
Doctors there have canvassers. Go to the general hospitals. Most of them have their own private hospitals.
No doubt.
Understand me?
But what he's saying is that don't you think that there is the justification following the number of people that might have been on the queue waiting for a surgery?
Yeah.
And you also understand that these doctors have shifts, so he has time to do his personal business too.
I say, he told my wife, if you want this thing to be done urgently, come to my private clinic. It was done 2 days after.
That's not ethical though, no matter what the situation is. It should have been their
Everybody's
option.
trying to make money.
It should have been their call to. I think that
it was done 2 days after.
Reacting to the big manism thing, I recall.
So the doctors in the general hospital create this kind of frustration that make people go searching for the private ones.
All right, I want to react and talk about the red flags too. I recall in 2016, my son was due for his surgery. We did not know. The biggest hospital, so-called biggest hospital in my area in Aguda, that was what we're using. And trust me, Jerry, we were visiting like every other week, sometimes twice within the same week. And they would give us medications and all. And that was where every big person was using, even till now. And it got to a stage, I went there one night, I got back from work. My mom told me that there was an emergency, so I rushed him to the hospital. I got to the hospital around some minutes before 9 p.m. And that was the first time I would be there at that time. And I discovered that it was just these nurses, what do they call them? Auxiliary nurses that were around. And they told me that because of his situation, because it was really hot and all, they didn't know what to give him. So they told me to wait. Jory, I was there like past 9, 10 p.m., 10:30, almost 11. Doctor was not around. Called the doctor, attend to this child. My child's face was already changing and all. They told me that the doctor had been working since morning and he needed rest. So he's always away from that time and he will return before midnight. I said, but my child is dying and I cannot wait. So to cut the long story short, we were there. The nurses were confused. One said, let's give him this, because I could hear it was just me and them downstairs. And the other one was saying that, before we go give him a wrong thing, let's just wait for the doctor. And at the end of the day, I had to call one of the doctors from my HMO, Fatai Williams, then on the island. And I told him what the situation was. And this situation was like, take your child out of there. I can't advise you to come to the island now, but go to the pharmacy, get this. This should be able to help him till daybreak, then bring him to the hospital in the morning. And I did that, I left. After that situation, I had to take him to another hospital in Bode Thomas. So sometimes we see the red flags, but maybe because of the relationship we've built, not necessarily fair.
And again,
because of the trust.
Power. The money may not be
enough. Then because of the trust, the relationship we've built, and because we feel like it has to be this person or nobody. Yes, this is a very expensive hospital compared to where we're coming from. It's on Bode Thomas. And we went there. Trust me, Jerry. Immediately we got in, they checked the temperature. The first doctor that saw him just asked for this stuff they used to check the tonsil. Experience. And the first person was like, no, they should take him to a pediatric doctor. And the moment she saw him and touched him, before they brought the file, it was like, get me this. And immediately she checked. She said, no, this boy needs a surgery, that this thing is bad. How have you kept this child in the house? I said, I have not kept this child. This child has been frequenting the hospital for 9 months back to back, and I'm not lying. If I go to hospital at all, I go at least once in 2 weeks. And he has been on medication,
And
taking a
none of
lot
them
of drugs,
was able to
and none of
identify
them was
the
able to even do
problem.
that. So sometimes we need to move out from the norm, whatever relationship you have been used to. Another thing happened. This is a family friend, somebody from Shagam, somebody I hold in high esteem, another hospital, a very big hospital. I decided to move my HMO there because of the sentiment of, oh, he's my brother, and I can discuss some things with him, because I was going through some things at the time, and I felt, okay, everything that was wrong with me, maybe if I can open up to somebody. I went there, I met him, then I was on admission. Then at night, I was supposed to go to the bathroom and change whatever was in my hand, and nobody could help me. And the nurse there was insisting that I should just manage. I said, this thing has shifted, it's hurting me. She said I should manage till daybreak. I said, I cannot manage, my hands are paining me. It's beginning, like it was getting swollen. She said, madam, you are just too clinical. You know, she was giving me attitude, and the next thing that I should just let her move me to the room upstairs so that I can sleep and wake up tomorrow morning. I made all the calls that night. I went online, I called my friends and all. It was at the point I was making calls, she had to call someone, and they were hearing me around before they now sent a doctor at about 10 p.m. And the only thing I told the doctor is, discharge me. You understand? Discharge me and let me go. So sometimes we need to make tough decisions. It's your health.
Yeah,
and you have to pay attention to it.
For me,
Because you're the first person that knows about yourself.
Discharged a patient at UCH in Ibadan.
No, I even asked the doctor to discharge me because of
I removed the distance of his son. They were begging. I said, no, we are going.
Yeah, you need
Understand
to
me?
insist. You need to
and you went somewhere else, and the person got.
Sure.
I think we need to wrap up on this conversation. Let's go to Benin. Dr. Comrade Ibrahim Momo, let me get your reaction again. What do you make of the long queues at the General Hospital, and how Nigerians need to, we need to take our lives seriously and put sentiments apart. There's no level of relationship that should make you trust someone so much when it gets to that kind of situation.
Well, for me, I think we should not give ourselves excuses that jeopardize our well-being. Excuses around, I don't have enough money, or I've heard people say that I don't even trust General Hospital. They used to use me to, they bring in student nurses, student doctors and nurses, students in training, maybe undergraduate medical doctors, medical students. In the course, when they are doing ward round, they go along with the consultants and the senior registrars. But I don't think that's even an issue, because that is the training. But usually in a teaching hospital, like the University of Teaching Hospital, they do not leave care of patients in the hands of those student doctors. They don't. Those students in training. They don't. So I think that our people should take our health seriously. If I take the health of your children, take the health of yourself and your family seriously enough to know that it is the best or nothing, the best that we can afford. At least generally, the public hospitals are cheap, and they are fairly cheap compared to maybe even private health facilities. And they are even, in a way, have more professionals. It's not in the private hospital where you can see one medical doctor. He will be a surgeon, a pediatric, gynecologist. One person will want to do everything. It's not that he gets even the matron or the nurses to do what a doctor ought to do. You can say that it's even an anesthetic. It's one that will administer anesthesia before, so a lot of all these things would not happen in a public hospital, maybe like a teaching hospital. No, the anesthetic will come and administer his anesthesia. The surgeon, maybe bone and plastic surgeon, would want to perform the surgical operation. If it's a childbirth, it is the gynecologist that will do that. So I think our people we should take ourselves seriously enough to realize that it's about us, not about if anything untoward happens, as in this case now. It's sometimes always too late to cry when the head is off. If the parent knew that this could have happened, I doubt they would have taken the child to the private health facility they took it to. That's my take on the issue.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade Ibrahim Momo, for your submission. May God make our affairs easier. That's all I can say. This is a very bad situation to be in, and our analysis would not in any way justify the situation, the parents of the child are in right now. But we hope that they find a way around it and the child lives, a good life and fulfill destiny at the end of the day. But we will go into the trending stories now and talk about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has urged young Nigerians in the digital space to use their influence to promote national unity and social progress. Speaking at the Progressive Digital Media Summit, he emphasized that digital platforms should be used to create jobs, spread positive values, and build a more inclusive society. Describing digital media as a powerful driver of economic and social transformation, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu praised the creativity and resilience of Nigerian youths. He also stressed the need for responsible content creation, encouraging content creators to verify information before sharing and resist disinformation. President, I saw the video yesterday where he was addressing the audience and talking about how important it is to put out the right content, and also we are praising Nigerians who have been doing well on these platforms. But I think it's a gbas season. You cannot totally control how people will post on social media without any form of regulation. What we have in Nigeria is a free platform where people are free to express themselves. But having a summit like this in 2025, quite impressive in my opinion. For some people, there's a lot of reaction. It's misplaced priority. What's the president doing about Nigerians that have been calling out the governors or government officials on bad performance, and this just coming out to talk about content creation is not enough. But I need to also put this in perspective that this was actually put together by the Office of the Senior Special Assistant on Digital Media. That's in person of Dada Olusegun. So it's an initiative of that office. Of course, representing the president definitely makes it a presidential issue and him coming out to talk. So it's not about the generality or the totality of what the president is doing at the time, but it was a good event in my opinion.
Yeah, regulation. Sensitization is very important. Educating the people on the use of social media. I think from where we were back in 2014, 2015, it's quite different now. A lot of people are more aware in terms of information they see on social media, not to outrightly believe. I remember back then, people just repost. I think even our mothers and fathers just see anything on
Facebook. They still do. Are you still on Facebook?
They are still scared. That's what the reason Facebook is a no-no area in terms of fake news.
They are fake the news. People.
Facebook is the headquarters of fake news. So you have
and the way they will now post it and transfer it to you. Doctor, you've not sent me any clip today. Doctor see something, forwards it to you. But really, it's interesting. This is a new time. But may we never experience that ban that came from the Buhari regime again.
I think on Twitter
that was totally unfair. I would rather a government that will regulate the space, which is understandable. Sensitize the public. Okay, so sensitization is a department that has to do with the National Orientation Agency. So most of these parasites do not do their job, and it makes people call out the government unnecessarily.
And the 15 naira they've been taken from every 10,000.
Exactly, because there's a DG, there are permanent secretaries, there are people in every offices. Even in my local government area, I was surprised the other day when we're having an event and people came to carry placard out to vote, saying that they are from the National Orientation Agency. So people are being paid salaries. Be proactive. You should. This is 2025. You should do things differently and also make your office count. But on the part of the government, regulation is important. Instead of getting to the point where we start dragging people or having to be in that situation we're in, let's regulate it. And regulation for the purpose of media awareness, because
regulation, not gagging.
Yes, no, not gagging. Regulation makes you know what to say, how to say it, and how to go about it. Because most of the time, these people are even undermining our jobs as certified broadcast journalists. And you see, just anybody pick on a story on any headline and just go about getting views. And, misinformation spread because we allow certain people continually be in the faces of the masses. And
the public most of the time want to misconstrue and try to put real mainstream media alongside social media news, saying that we all are misinforming the public. And I think there needs to be a difference in when sensitizing the people, because I even get a lot of people who accuse me that you are journalists, you are people that is always sending all of this news and so on and so forth. There's a difference, because these guys are not trained, they don't understand what
sometimes
real information is. And we definitely, who are trained, know better and You don't expect me to come and
So
start
sometimes,
spreading news
even
because
for we that are trained, I think that there's a part of our bias and sentiment. I recall last week I had to do a direct message to someone who had called as journalist, talk about the Senator Natasha Akpoti's visit to the house and how she was blocked and all. And one of the people that went with her was in an interview on a sister station, and questions were asked, and nobody asked questions around the part of what the court asked her to do and the opposition on that. And you know, he called out the entire media people and everybody in journalism and said that, oh, this, that. I understand that views are important. I understand that the people get to drive the conversation, but there is the place of authentication.
balance.
There has to be balance, even in asking questions.
Yeah.
The questions should come from different perspectives. No matter how no matter how we get thrown off the balance with analysis, we should be able to go back to the original conversation. But outside that, the media space is a place for making money for a lot of people.
All right.
And that's it. So whatever would drive traffic is what people will do. And even our young people, we are not well grounded in history.
Yeah.
You talk about things and
They
people,
erase history from
it's
the curriculum.
sad enough that you say something and you now see somebody tag at Grok. How true is this story?
Yeah, Gronk is just taking analysis of what have been put there before.
Exactly what have been made available. And you know, when you now see people like this, even in the media space, you see a lot of broadcast journalists without depth, without original history of things, how we got here. And so the narrative are usually shallow around what is happening now. Yeah. But whatever the president thinks, please do not block any of our access to social media. Regulations can be done. But we love the fact that a lot of buzzwords are happening. It's helping us, maybe it's helping us cure from what will have led to this depression and any other thing happening around the people of Nigeria.
All right, okay. Enough said about that. Of course, we'll have to wrap up today because it's been a good time on the Morning Buzz with you today.
It's always a good time on the Morning Buzz. I mean, what's the better way to start the weekend for amazing audiences?
Dr. Anosigi has been awesome as well. Big thanks as well to Mr. Dele Fanimo and of course Brian Momo for being awesome on the Morning Buzz. I'm going to say have a great weekend, right?
Yeah, have a great weekend. My name is Adefunke Jaisimi, and it's been a good time being in your offices doing this with you. Thank you for being a part of the conversation.
All right, and I'm Jerry Apellion. I'm saying have a fantastic weekend.